The Gospel of John is not particularly concerned with chronology. For example, we know that the turning over of the table of the money changers probably took place in the last 5 days of Jesus' life. But John puts it right at the beginning of the Gospel because he wants to pair it with the story of the turning water into wine to show two aspects of Jesus' character. In the one, we see a Jesus who's kind, compassionate, generous, providing grace freely to whoever wants it. In the other, we see a very, very angry Jesus. Now, Jesus doesn't get that angry just with sinners who've fallen, even who've fallen really badly. That makes him really sad, but also he has compassion there. What makes him angry is people who get in the way of sinners coming for that grace which should be so freely given. It's a mistake to say that the Old Testament is all law and the New Testament is all grace. It isn't true. The Old Testament is wonderfully full of grace. For example, the law said that after childbirth, a woman must come for ritual cleansing so that she can go back into the temple to worship. She should bring a lamb, but the law made a provision that if she were very poor, as Jesus' parents were, she could just bring 2 doves. Now, to make that easier, God created these birds with 2 characteristics. One is they breed very easily, and in the words of Roberts, they're abundant everywhere. And the other is that they're rather stupid, so easy to catch. So picture this young couple coming with their baby and their 2 doves, and they're very daunted by all the noise and bustle and the many fierce-looking people. But they make their way towards the court area to give their sacrifice, and a very officious man blocks their way, takes one look at their doves and says, "Those are not good enough, go over there and get unblemished ones." So they go over there and they give their pittance of money, and the man says, "That's no good, that's Roman money, that's polluted, go over there and change it to temple money." So they go over there, leaving their doves behind, and the exchange rate is so exorbitant that they can now no longer afford the doves, and so they turn away to leave. As soon as their back is turned, the man with the doves takes their 2 doves, put them in his cage to sell to the next poor people. Picture Jesus seeing that woman's face as she leaves, tears running down her cheeks, knowing that she now cannot go into the temple to worship her Lord. And he's very angry. Only John gives us one picture of how angry he was, and that is that he went outside, collected together some strips of leather, tied them into a bit, and then he deliberately tied knots into each of the thongs so that when he struck, it wouldn't just sting, it would actually rip and tear the flesh. It's a very dangerous thing to get between people and the grace of God, particularly children. But I like to picture, as Jesus threw over the money changers' tables, that the cage with the doves also went flying and broke open, and the doves escaped. And one of the doves, circling above as doves do, looked down, and he saw the anger of Jesus, but he also saw the anger of the money changers, the scribes, the Pharisees, the priests. And he said to himself, "There's going to be a price to pay here." And 6 days later, that dove is perched on the city wall looking outward at 3 crosses. And he looks at the one in the middle, and he can quite literally say, "He died that I could be free."